the year 1857. A year etched in blood and fire, a year when the earth trembled under the weight of rebellion. India, the jewel of the British Empire, was about to witness an uprising like no other. The Sepoys, the very backbone of the East India Company's army, would rise against their masters. The flames of discontent, long simmering beneath the surface, were about to erupt. This was not just a mutiny, it was a war for freedom. The year 1857 would forever change the destiny of India. It would mark the beginning of the end of the East India Company's reign. And from the ashes of this rebellion, a new India would begin to take shape. India under the East India Company was a land of contradictions. Vast riches flowed eastward, filling the coffers of British merchants. Yet the people of India languished under a system designed to exploit. The East India Company, driven by greed, had woven a web of control that touched every aspect of Indian life. Traditional industries lay in ruins, crushed by British policies designed to favour their own manufactures. Farmers, burdened by exorbitant taxes, toiled under the threat of eviction. The very soul of India, its rich culture and ancient traditions, were under assault. A sense of humiliation and resentment festered among the populace. The British, blinded by their own sense of superiority, failed to see the storm clouds gathering on the horizon. They dismissed the growing unrest as the work of a few disgruntled individuals. They would soon learn their folly. The anger of a nation, suppressed for so long, was about to be unleashed. The roots of the 1857 rebellion ran deep. They were nourished by a multitude of grievances. The East India Company's insatiable appetite for profit had created widespread economic hardship. The annexation of princely states, often on dubious grounds, had alienated native rulers. And the introduction of Western ideas and technologies, while presented as progress, was seen by many as a threat to their way of life. Religion, a potent force in Indian society, became a flashpoint. Rumors spread like wildfire that the new Enfield rifles, which required soldiers to bite off the ends of greased cartridges, were coated with animal fat. This was anathema to both Hindu and Muslim sepoys, who saw it as a deliberate attempt to defile their religious beliefs. The stage was set for a confrontation. The sepoys, once loyal instruments of British power, were now seething with discontent. They were ready to fight for their faith, their honor, and the freedom of their motherland. The spark that would ignite the inferno was about to be struck. Meerut, a bustling garrison town near Delhi, became the crucible of the rebellion. On that fateful day of May 10, 1857, the simmering tensions boiled over. Sepoys of the 3rd Light Cavalry, incensed by the rumors of the greased cartridges, refused to participate in a firing drill. The British officers, their arrogance blinding them to the depth of the sepoys' anger, responded with characteristic heavy-handedness. The mutinous sepoys were court-martialed, publicly humiliated, and sentenced to years of hard labor. This act of perceived injustice proved to be the breaking point. That night, the rebellion erupted in full fury. The imprisoned sepoys were freed by their comrades, and British officers and their families were attacked. The flames of rebellion, once ignited, spread like wildfire. Meerut had lit the fuse, and soon the entire Gangetic plain would be engulfed in the flames of revolt. Section 5. A Spreading Inferno. News of the uprising in Meerut spread like wildfire across North India. From Delhi to Lucknow, from Kanpur to Jhansi, the spirit of rebellion gripped the hearts of the people. What began as a mutiny of sepoys quickly transformed into a full-blown war of independence. Ordinary men and women, peasants and artisans, princes and priests all joined the fight against the common enemy. The British, initially caught off guard by the scale and intensity of the rebellion, found themselves outnumbered and outmaneuvered. Their control over vast swathes of territory began to crumble. The rebellion, while lacking centralized leadership and a cohesive strategy, drew strength from the shared dream of freedom. It was a testament to the courage and resilience of a people determined to break the shackles of foreign rule. The spirit of 1857 would forever remain etched in the memory of India. Section 6. Leaders of the rebellion, icons of resistance. From the chaos and fervor of the rebellion emerged charismatic leaders, men and women who would become legends. Rani Lakshmibai, the young queen of Jhansi, a skilled horsewoman and swordsman, became a symbol of courage and defiance. Nana Sahib, the adopted son of the last Peshwa, rallied the forces of resistance in Kanpur. Tantia Tope, a brilliant military strategist, led the rebel armies with great skill and determination. These leaders, each with their unique motivations and aspirations, embodied the spirit of 1857. Their names, etched in the annals of Indian history, would continue to inspire generations to come. They were the embodiment of the indomitable spirit of a people yearning for freedom. Their sacrifices would not be in vain. Section 7. The Empire Strikes Back. The British, initially stunned by the ferocity of the rebellion, rallied their forces. Reinforcements were rushed in from Britain and loyalist Indian states. A campaign of brutal retribution was unleashed against the rebels. Cities and villages were bombarded, homes were looted and burned, and unarmed civilians were massacred. The British, determined to crush the rebellion and set an example, resorted to unimaginable cruelty. The rebellion was put down with an iron fist, leaving behind a trail of death and destruction. The rebellion of 1857 was a watershed moment in Anglo-Indian relations. It exposed the fragility of British rule and the deep-seated resentment that lay beneath the surface. The scars of this conflict would take generations to heal. Section 8. The Blood-Stained Crown. The events of 1857 sent shockwaves through the British establishment. The East India Company, once a symbol of British power and ambition, was discredited and dissolved. India was placed under the direct control of the British Crown. Queen Victoria, assuming the title of Empress of India, promised a policy of reconciliation and reform. However, the legacy of the rebellion cast a long shadow. The British, forever haunted by the spectre of 1857, tightened their grip on India, determined to prevent a repeat of the uprising. The British Raj, born out of the ashes of the rebellion, would be marked by a complex mix of paternalism, reform, and repression. The seeds of Indian nationalism, sown in the blood-soaked soil of 1857, continued to germinate, waiting for the right moment to sprout. Section 9. The Price of Defiance. The rebellion of 1857 exacted a heavy toll on India. The country lay in ruins, its economy shattered, its social fabric torn apart. Thousands of Indians, both rebels and civilians, perished during the conflict. Countless others were left homeless and destitute. The British, in their quest for revenge, unleashed a reign of terror that left deep scars on the Indian psyche. The memory of the atrocities committed during the rebellion would continue to haunt generations to come. But the rebellion also had a profound impact on the British. It forced them to confront the realities of their rule in India and the deep-seated resentment it engendered. The myth of British invincibility lay shattered, replaced by a sense of vulnerability and a determination to maintain control at all costs. Section 10. Legacy of a Rebellion. The 1857 rebellion, though ultimately crushed, left an indelible mark on the Indian consciousness. It was a watershed moment in the struggle for independence, a testament to the courage and spirit of the Indian people. The rebellion shattered the myth of British invincibility and exposed the vulnerability of their empire. It also sowed the seeds of Indian nationalism, uniting people from different regions, religions, and castes in a shared struggle against foreign rule. The memory of 1857 would continue to inspire future generations of freedom fighters, who would eventually succeed in ending British rule and establishing an independent India. The sacrifices made by the heroes of 1857 would not be in vain. Section 11. Conclusion. The dawn of Indian nationalism. The 1857 rebellion, a symphony of fury and despair, ultimately failed to dislodge the British, but it succeeded in something far more profound. It ignited a spirit of resistance that would never be extinguished. It was the birth pangs of a nation. From the ashes of this rebellion, a new India arose. The dream of freedom, once a distant flicker, now burned bright in the hearts of millions. The journey towards independence would be long and arduous, but the spirit of 1857 would light the way. The legacy of the 1857 rebellion is complex and multifaceted. It was a story of courage and sacrifice, of brutality and oppression, of hope and despair. But above all, it was a testament to the enduring human spirit, the unyielding desire for freedom. The echo of those tumultuous days continues to resonate, reminding us of the price of liberty and the power of unity.